There's beauty on your face. I try with every
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Tony. I'm an artist and the CEO of the Tony B Collection. Welcome to my channel. So, I have had so many people come to me at different events, pop up shops, gallery shows, and they were like, oh my God, how did you make this? What materials are you using? How can I make something like this? And I just want to invite you guys into this video so you can see all the tricks and tips that you will need in order to be successful at creating your own 3D crystal painting. So I could have made this a lot easier and just did a video a long time ago. But I'm typically not the person that likes to record because once I'm in the zone and once I have the idea in my head, I have to get it down. But I'm working on creating more content because, I typically paint a lot. But if any of you guys are interested in viewing any of my beautiful pieces, make sure that you go to my website at www.thetonybcollection.com. I have so many different variety of paintings. I have a diversity of different type of pieces, and I would love to hear one of your favorite pieces, so make sure you leave a comment below. All right, let's get into the video. So what I'm using here is I just took a pencil and I kind of just outlined it where I want my crystals to stop. So one of my good friends brought these crystals for me on my birthday. They're Zen Q crystals and he got them from Amazon. I can't remember how much they cost, but I'll make sure that I put everything in the description so you'll be able to purchase these as well if you're interested. And oh my God, those look so beautiful getting laid down on this panel. So I'm using a 1" by 18" wood panel that I purchased from Lowe's. And this panel only cost me about $8. So wood panels are very, very affordable. If you want to start your resin journey, I definitely do recommend starting off with wood because it's more easier, although it does take more time because you'll have to sand it down. And I kind of did all of that before I started. But yes, it does take a little bit more time, but they're more affordable and they have different sizes, and it's so much that you can create on there, and you can get a really, really great piece doing it on wood. So someone asked me, how many bottles of crystals would you need? It really depends on the size. So something this size, you would need 2 bottles. You may not need the whole 2 bottles, but you want to say, as you can see, I have another bottle, but you want to save some because once you pour resin on top of those to lay, they kind of sink, and then you'll have to add another layer of crystals on top. But you'll see as we get deeper into the video. So this process usually takes about maybe 10-20 minutes. It really depends on the person. It can be faster, but you really just want to take your time, and you also want to make sure that you have everything organized before even starting, because resin, you have a time frame to use with resin. So you want to make sure that you have everything laid out. You have your colors in mind. You have your crystals in mind. If you don't, you need to make sure that you're thinking about it beforehand, because once this stuff get on your gloves, it's sticky and you kind of just want to get it over with as you're using it. So make sure you keep that in mind. And also make sure you are protecting yourself. Use gloves, use masks, and use an apron, because once this stuff get on your clothes, that's it. Your favorite shirt, gone. Favorite pants, gone. So make sure you use an apron. Make sure you are protecting yourself and using gloves throughout the whole process. And make sure you have a mask as well. For people who are not familiar with resin, it creates a lot of bubbles and it kind of just go everywhere. So, you know, you just want to protect your face and your hands. So as you can see, I'm just going back and I'm just making sure that I got all of those spots filled with crystals. You want to make sure that you lay out all of that. You know, if you miss some spots, make sure you go back and you put some crystals there. Sometimes the crystals fall off. You can pick them up and put them back on. It really doesn't matter. You know, you don't want to waste any crystals, so it would make sense to just put them back on, as you can see. That's what I'm doing. So I just want to make sure that white around the border is closed off as well. And then you're going to use a measuring cup. So depending on how big your piece is, you can use something as small as this, or you can use a bigger one that pertains liter. And I think that's what I'm going to go grab. Actually, no, it's behind the resin. So like I said, either or is fine depending on the size of the painting that you're using and how much crystals and how much paint you'll be needing. You may need something fairly bigger. So I'm just waiting for me to return, and here I go. There we go. So you can use something as big as that. So all right, so let me break down the resin part for those who are fairly new to using resin. You can get resin, I'm not going to say from anywhere, but Michael and Lowe's does carry resin. I don't like their resin because it has a very, very strong scent, and I don't like using resin like that. It stinks up your whole house for a couple of days, and I don't think no one will want to deal with that. And that resin is a lot more pricier. So again, I go to Lowe's and I purchase the Glaze Coat, and resin usually come in two parts. You have an A and you have a B. So if you're pouring 8 ounces of A, you need to make sure you pour 8 ounces of B, which will give you altogether 16 ounces. That's not going to be enough to actually create for this. So you would need a little bit more. So in this piece, I'm using 16 ounces of A and 16 ounces of B. So altogether, that gives me 32 ounces. And that should be enough to lay down my crystals and put more coloring on as well. So, you know, you just want to make sure that you're using enough, because I will also have to lay down other colors as well. And most of those colors will have to blend in with the resin. All right, so I think in this process, I'm just pouring. I'm just making sure that, and make sure you're using gloves. It's best to use 2 different containers, one for A, one for B. Like I said, it depends on how much you use. You probably can get both in one if it's a smaller piece. But something this size, you know, like I said, I can use just one if I wanted to. I think I'm using both. I think I'm using one. I don't know. Yeah, I'm using both. It's so cool to just go back and see everything that I've done and then just talk about it. I never even thought about doing this before. So this is so new to me, and it's fun just showing you guys how it's done. So yeah, you could just pour it all in there. I could have saved myself the troubles and just pour it in one container, but it's okay. So as I said before, you want to move fast when using resin, because there is a time frame of using this. I think you have at least a solid 30 to 40 minutes until your resin starts getting hot. And once it gets hot, That's it. You can't use it anymore, and you will probably waste a lot of resin more than you use. So that's why I said just be organized when you're starting the process so you can know what colors you're using, what you want to create. You know, it makes everything just go by more smoother. So after you pour both of them into your container, you want to stir for at least 3 minutes. And remember what I said, you know, you want to use your mask because bubbles will start arising as you stir your resin. So you can use maybe like what I want to say. I think that's a spatula that I'm using that comes with it. You know, sometimes when you buy resin, it comes with, you know, all the material that you'll use. I think I had to go close off the kitchen because the cat kept trying to come in. That's why I keep leaving. The cat was like going so crazy trying to get in. Seven, her name is Seven. She loves to watch me create, but I typically don't like to have her around while I'm using these type of chemicals because, you know, kittens are like children. They're so curious. They get into every little thing. But you see that little yellow cone right there? So that is what I use to hold my paintings up. I brought those from Amazon as well. They come, I think you can get like 24 of them. And they really come in handy. They sit your painting up and you can use as many as you need to make sure that your painting is leveled. So this is what I use to make sure that, you know, my painting is leveled, everything is good to go. Because if I was just to do it on a flat surface, I can get, you know, I can get dents in my painting, especially if I'm using a canvas. Just a lot of things can go wrong. Your painting can start sinking. Oh, there we go. Just a better view of me stirring and what it looks like to stir the resin. So I think I'm all done. I think I just want to give myself a little bit more grace period to stir, and then I'm just going to pour. Wow, that looks so cool. All right, this has truly inspired me to start making more videos. But I'm just, like I said, just observe everything that's going on so you can understand what's happening. Because like I said, it's fairly easy to make these type of pieces, but you do have to have some type of creative mind to either go in and do it. All right, I think it's all done. As you can see, once the resin, you see it's a little bubbly, it looks foggy, and it's supposed to look like that because after you pour it down on the painting and you use your heat gun, the heat gun is going to take all of those bubbles out. But okay, here's the process that I was telling you guys about. You want to make sure that you put resin on your crystals first because you want to lay those down. So as you can see, you know, the resin will make the crystals sink. That's why I say you would need to use at least 2 containers to pour a little bit more crystals on top of those spots. And you just want to go around to make sure that they're secure. You know, and you just, you know, just take a moment to just take all of this in and observe these steps that we're doing. Wow, that looks so beautiful. Wow. I'm just taking this all in. I'm taking it all in. It's amazing what you really can create. And now I'm just going to the top and just putting some resin up there as well. At first I wanted to color, I think I said this in the beginning, but at first I wanted to do the whole thing red. Because I usually do my wood panels just a solid color. I had an all black one. I sold that one. I have an all blue one. I still have that one. That one is so beautiful. It's called Ice. And then I wanted to do a red one, but I didn't want to color the crystals because the crystals were so beautiful. I was like, no way. So I had to come up with a different idea. So right here, I'm just smoothing in the resin, you know, just getting it everywhere because I'm going to be using other colors. And then I take some and then I go around the side. So that's important as well. You want to make sure that you go around the side of your painting, especially if you did not sand it down. So that's important. That's one of the very most important steps of having a wood panel is sanding it down so you can have a smooth surface to work on. You know, this gives your painting more depth. I don't know what happened. And, you know, it just makes it look more beautiful, more elegant. Yeah, and I'm just going all around the surface. All around. And I'm just quiet because I'm just so in shock that this is what I'm doing. Because like I said, I typically don't take the time to record myself because I'm just always on the go when I'm creating these paintings. You know, I'm in my zone. I have my music on and I just go. So right here is where I'm separating my resin because I'm going, like I said, you'll need it if you're using other colors because you'll have to blend the other colors in with the resin. So I'm just separating it so I'll be able to put my other colors inside of it. Oh, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Probably should have said that first, but it just hit me. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. And again, just make sure that you guys go check out my website and comment one of your favorite pieces. And let me know what piece you will want me to recreate and show you guys how to do. I have, so like I said, so many different variety of paintings on my website that you may like. So just make sure you do that. All right here is where I'm blending that color. And I think I'm using black. So I wanted to do black, gold, and white, if I'm not mistaken. So to create a full piece like this, it will probably take at least 4 hours. Oh, nope, I'm pouring more white. Okay, so to get that real crystal white metallic look, you do want to go back and add another coat of white. It just gives it more, like I said, it just gives it more a beautiful look. And I think this was not such a good idea because white typically gets dirty quick. So I had to make sure it did not get dirty. Okay, so yeah, I went back and I laid down some white. And then I'm just taking it and I'm just smoothing it all across my wood panel. And then I'm going on the sides, and I'm using it on the sides as well, because we want to get all around there. So I just want you guys to know, and I'm not going to be talking throughout this whole video. Like I said, white gets dirty. Some pieces in there I had to get out. So close to the end, I'll stop and I'll probably speed the video up a little bit. But I think I got every detail that I wanted to share with you guys about these videos. And if I didn't, there would be plenty more videos where you guys can learn more of how you can create your own resin pieces. But wow, that looks so beautiful. That really looks beautiful. Yep, and I'm just going back around the sides. And you typically want to keep going around the sides maybe every 3 to 5 minutes, because you're going to have resin dripping, and you don't want those little drips to be in the back of your painting. I took my gloves off because now I'm about to use my heat gun. So the heat gun is what takes the bubbles out, and it makes it look so much more clear. And I think I have to do this from the other side because of where my plug is. And this is where I messed up, because I got a lot of dirt particles on the white. I was so teed. I remember this part. Because I didn't let the heat gun just kind of blow for a second. I blew nothing but dirt on the painting. You'll see me go back in a few and kind of try to take all of that off, but I was so pissed. No. Yeah. So you want to make sure you have a lot of gloves. Creating paintings like this, you're going to need a lot of gloves. And I'm just trying to wipe off that little dirt that got on from the heat gun, because that really, really made me mad. Because it's white, and, white shows, and you want white to look, as shiny and beautiful as possible with no dirt. And again, I'm just going back around using that. And you want to be careful, because I got some white inside the crystals. But again, it's a good thing that I have to lay another. Here I go, laying down my second. As you can see, it looks more 3D-ish. It gives it a lot more depth. It's just, the second layer just makes it pops. Yep, and I'm just smoothing them out, making sure. Now add a little bit more resin on top again, but not as much as I had to on the first. And we're just going right back over it again. Wow, that looks so beautiful. I'm just going on top and just adding a little bit more. And now I'm just smoothing them up, because I realized that it looks a lot nicer when it's just, unpredictable. And it's up to you, because you have a lot of space to create and do whatever you need to do. So, this is my way of how I do things, but as you start your journey as an artist, you'll have your own way as well. So it's good to just gravitate towards your own way. And again, don't be like me. Make sure you use a glove Also, this is a great trick to use. So say for instance you get some resin on your hand, do not use water to try to get it off. That's only going to make it worse. The only way to get resin off your hand is with alcohol. So alcohol typically just gets it right on off. It makes it better to get off, easier. So water just it just feels like it just makes it worse. So again, if you use resin or you get some on your shoes or anything, immediately use alcohol and it should take it right off. Rubbing alcohol, of course. And again, I'm just trying to use the last little bit of my epoxy because we have a time frame to use this. And I'm adding more crystals as well. Like I said, you'll need 2 bottles, but you may not have to use the whole 2 bottles. So I think in this part, we're going to start laying down that second color, which is black. And yeah, we just, because usually once it's done, if you have some crystals that just like fall off, they'll just fall off. I don't know if any other artists have this problem, but sometimes the crystals just come off, the ones that didn't, really lay down. I think that's okay. It's not a lot. It typically be like 2-3 of them just falling off. So that's why it's always good to just go back and just make sure your crystals are secure because you're using a lot of crystals. All right, there we go. Now we have our black and tack. And, some people use metallic colors when they're creating pieces like this. I have a lot of metallic colors that I use. But in this particular video, for my black, I'm using acrylic. So I also use acrylic as well. Acrylic does well for me, especially when I'm trying to do that 3D texture. You may not see it as much in this painting, but like I said, you visit my website, you will see some of like my 3D-ish looking paintings with acrylic. You're definitely going to need a heat gun for this. A blow dryer as well. I typically use a blow dryer a lot. So here I am just using the black. And this is where I messed up. Okay, this is where I stopped liking the painting. Only because I think I didn't. Okay, so I had enough resin to smooth it out. I don't know. It's just something about that black just didn't look right. And then when I tried to like lift it and spread it around, it was hard to spread this time. So yeah, this is where I kind of messed up, y'all, and didn't like the painting anymore. So the painting is going to be completely different, and I'll do a part 2. I just have to figure out what I want to do now. I don't know if I just want to, I don't know. This is kind of where I did not like it because the black wasn't spreading how I wanted to spread. So I had to find another way and use a different technique to kind of like get that black to rise up a little. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so yeah, I take my finger and I kind of like spread it out so that way it can come up. But It was such a beautiful painting. Yeah, I just didn't think that black really looked right with this color. So if you guys have any other color in mind that will look beautiful with this white and gold, please share your input in the comment section. So it's kind of spreading right here a little, but again, I'm really just not feeling it anymore. So I think I go back and I just maybe do another coat of black. This is where things get sticky and messy because my outline and my idea that I was originally going for wasn't working. So I had to move some things around. But let's just see what I do next. Okay, so I mixed it with the rest of the resin that I had to just make it a little more smoother. As you can see, it's laying down a lot better than when I just used the acrylic bottle. But typically it works like that, and it, like I said, it creates really great 3D effects. And now I'm going to take the heat gun and just blow it back up. Should just be able to. Yeah, it was just something about that black that just wasn't setting. Maybe I will use my metallic colors next time. But yeah, this is where it went sour, and I don't think the black looks right. So again, if you have any idea of what other color I could use, please share. Please. So I think I'm just kind of just trying to move things out of the way, because as you can see, it can get really crowded on your table, especially if you're working with small space. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I wasn't feeling this one, but you know, I'm just taking that extra resin and just doing anything at this point. I got black all around the sides. It doesn't look as bad, but you know, if you ever seen any of my other pieces, I think this would be one of the ones that's not like top tier. And I think that's the video. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I will be back with a part 2 to show you guys what I do next with this painting, because like I said, the black was just not there. And thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.